ChatGPT just opened their ad platform to everyone. And if you're thinking about running ads on it, the single most important thing you can do before you run any ads is get your tracking set up. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up your ChatGPT pixel and track conversion events on the platform. That way you'll have a full view of what's wasting your ad spend and what's driving the real results. So I'm in a ChatGPT Ads account right now, and if you don't have an account set up, all you have to do is go to ads.openai.com, and from there it'll ask you a couple questions. It only takes 5 minutes, and then from there you can get your account set up just like that. So to set up conversion tracking, what I want to do is click on Tools on the left right here, and then click on Conversions. And this is where we're gonna be for the majority of this video. So you now have two main tabs here. You have data source and you have conversion events. So you can think of the data source as the equivalent to the metapixel. It's a small piece of code that lives everywhere on your website. Whereas the conversion events are the specific actions that you want to track that people take on your website. So things like a lead, a purchase, a booked appointment, an add to cart, things like that. So until this point, if you were to set up a campaign and just launch your ads without having any of this set up, the only metric that you would really see is clicks and the amount spent. You wouldn't have any results populating in your dashboard. But to know whether our ads are working or not, we need to know if those clicks are driving into an actual result. So what we're gonna do is configure this, that way it's set up correctly. To set it up, you'll have to do this in 2 steps. Step 1 is to install the base pixel, so then it just fires on every single page of your website. And step 2 is to configure the conversion events, that way they fire at the right time when someone takes that specific action on your website. We'll start with the base pixel first. So in order to install the base pixel, what you want to do is click on Tools here, click on Conversions, and click on Data Source right here. If you're new to this, you would have essentially nothing, and this would be blank, just like my screen right there. And you would want to click on Create Data Source. I'm going to do this for my own website, so I'm going to call this Media Ninja Chat, or just call it GPT Pixel, like that. And then the type of conversion, you have a drop down here, whether you're tracking a web event, an iOS, or an Android event. For most of the cases, you're going to be tracking web events, so leave it on web. And I'm going to leave on the automatic advanced matching right here and click on Create. Once you do that, you'll see 3 different things. It'll give you a setup base code, it'll give you a pixel ID, and then it'll give you an example event call. So in particular, for the example event call, ignore this section entirely. We're gonna come back to this when we start creating our conversion events. What we want to pay attention to here is the setup code and the pixel ID. Now, depending on the website that you're using, you might want to use one or the other, but probably not both. If you have a website where you just have to install a manual piece of code in the head of every single page of your website, you're gonna want to use the setup code. If you're using a type of website which has a direct integration with ChatGPT, it'll likely only ask you for a pixel ID instead, and you're gonna want to use this. For this video specifically, my website is built on GHL, so I'll go into there right now, and you can see my website right here. And if I go on the settings of my website right here, I can see that my tracking codes are built through manual code. So for my use case specifically, I'm gonna want to take this setup code right here. So what I want to do is copy this code right here, and then I want to find the spot on the website that allows you to copy and paste a code in every single page of the website in the head field, which in GHL is right here, and I'm gonna paste it there. So what I want to do is just go below this tag manager code and paste my OpenAI pixel code right there, and then click on save. So I was using GHL here, but chances are you might have a different website provider, something like Squarespace or WordPress even. Either way, most of these website providers pretty much always have a settings area where you can add a site-wide code specifically in your head tracking, and all you want to do is find that, copy the event base code, copy the base pixel code, and then paste it in there, just like what I did right here in my GHL website. And so now what I have is essentially a base code that is installed on every single page of my website. So the first of 2 parts is now done. We can now start creating some events. But before we do that, if you like this video so far, feel free to give me a like and a subscribe below. That way you're updated on all my newest videos to come. So to set up conversion events, what we want to do is go back here under our tools and conversions, and this time we're gonna go under conversion events. So for my use case specifically, there's 2 main actions on my website that people can take. On my homepage, people can fill in this opt-in form right here, so I want to track that as a lead event. And then I also have a calendar page where people can book a call with me, and I want to track this event as a booked appointment. So those are the 2 main use cases for my website, and what I'm gonna do is build a conversion event for each of these. Chances are that on your website, you might have different conversion events that you want to track, but the whole setup process should remain roughly the same. We'll start by creating the lead event first. So if someone fills fills in this opt-in form, what happens is they will hit this calendar page right here. So what I want to do is create a lead event that fires on this page, because only people who have been to this page before have filled in this opt-in form, essentially meaning that they're a lead. So what I'm going to do is create the conversion event and then install it on the calendar page. What I want to do is go back to my OpenAI Ads Manager inside conversions and conversion events, and I'm going to click on plus create conversion event, and I'm going to call the base event. And then from there, it's going to have a drop down for you to select from their standard events. From this list right here, if I'm tracking a lead, the one that makes the most sense is lead created. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to then call it just lead. As far as the data source goes, you want to select the base pixel code that you just created in the previous part of this video. So I'm going to click on the drop down here and click this Media Ninja GPT pixel that I just installed on my website. So once I've selected that, the next thing it's going to tell me is the click-through attribution window. This is set to 30 days. I'm going to leave it as it is, as it's the standard for ChatGPT. This is essentially where you're telling if someone clicks on your ad, how long should ChatGPT wait for that conversion to still count? So what this essentially means is 30 days is if someone were to click on one of my ads and then convert on my website within a 30-day window, then that conversion will then be attributed back to ChatGPT and populate in my dashboard. The default is 30 days, so I'm going to leave it as 30 days and click on create. My lead event is now created. It's coming up with a conversion event code. I'm going to come back to this. What I'm going to do is create my booked appointment event instead, and then I'm going to install both at once. So in order to create a booked appointment event, what I want to do is click on create right here, click on conversion event. I'm going to select from the list right here, appointment scheduled makes the most sense for a booked call, and I'm going to call this booked call. The data source is going to be ChatGPT pixel for Media Ninja, and I'm going to click on create. And just like that, I have now my lead event created and my appointment event created. All I have to do is just set them up on my website so then they fire at the right time. So back to my website now, here's the opt-in page. If someone fills this out, they will hit my calendar page right here. And then if they book a call with me, they will hit a thank you page like this. So what I want to happen essentially is my lead event to fire on the calendar page and then the booked appointment event to fire on the thank you page, because the people who would have taken those actions are the only people who would see these specific pages. So we can start by installing the lead event first, and I want that lead event code to be installed on the calendar page specifically. So we're going to go ahead and do that. To do that, I want to just go back to OpenAI right here into my conversion event. I'm going to look for my lead conversion event that I just created. I'm going to go to the right here and click on the three dots. I'm going to view the code. And from here, it's going to give me a pixel event call. What I want to do is copy this code. I'm then going to go into the back end of my website, find the calendar page, which is right here, and I'm going to click on edit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this code only on this page. I'm not installing this code on every single page of the website like I did with the base code, because I don't want it to fire on every single page. I only want it to fire on this calendar page in particular. So I'm inside GHL now. In order to install this code in the head tracking, I just want to click up here, and under this script I have just above, I'm going to paste it right there. And I now have my OpenAI call to essentially fire the lead event back to the ad platform. And I'm going to click on save, and I'm then going to click on publish and then click on back. For the booked call event, it's the exact same process. I'm just going to find it right here, scroll to the right. I'm going to click the three dots, view the code. I'm then going to click on copy right here. I'm going to go back to the back end of my website, and this time I'm going to find the back end of my thank you page, because that's where I want it to fire. I'm going to click on edit. I'm then going to click on the tracking code section, and below this script above, I'm going to paste it, and I now have my OpenAI call for the appointment scheduled event installed on this page. All I want to do is click on save and then click on publish. So chances are you have a different website potentially, but on most websites, you're able to set up a specific head tracking code on specific pages. So all you have to do is go to that specific page, go in the backend like I just did, and then copy and paste the code. That's all done now here. So I'm going to click on back. So now I have my base pixel code installed. I have two conversion events that are created, and both of those conversion events are correctly installed on my website. Before we call this good to go, all I want to do now is just test that this is actually working correctly. In order to test if these events are working correctly, you want to go back into the tools and conversion section, and this time you're going to click on event stream. So in order to do this part, what you want to do is click on tools, click on conversions, and then you're then going to click on event stream right here. And what you want to do now is click on start polling. And what you're going to do is go on your website and start completing some of these actions manually yourself. So for me, what I would want to do is go onto my homepage and fill in the opt-in form and then book a fake call. So then I hit the thank you page. And what should happen is that my lead event should fire here, and then my booked appointment should fire as well. So what you want to do on your website is click the start polling, go on the website, and then manually trigger every single event that you created and make sure that they're all populating. If you did this correctly, they should all populate within the dashboards right here. To save time for this video, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to fill in a fake opt-in form into my own CRM. But if you did this correctly, they should populate right here. You can think of this tool as a very similar thing as the event tester within the Meta Pub. You can think of this tool as the equivalent to the events tester within the Meta Ads platform. And so once you would have done all of that, if we go back to our conversion events right here, what's gonna start happening is over time, these zeros right here for total events are gonna start populating and we'll start seeing some actual numbers come up. So let's say a couple people fill in the lead form right here and then a couple people book an appointment. I'm gonna see these zeros change into a number. And if you see these zeros change into positive numbers, that essentially means that your base code is correctly installed, the conversion events are likely correctly installed as well, and that things are actually being tracked within the ad platform itself. And from there, you can essentially start running some campaigns. And if you see the results populating here and you start some ads, those results should also start populating within your ads dashboard, as long as the event that you're tracking is actually attributed to an ad click. So that's it for today's video. And with a setup like this, you're not just seeing clicks anymore. In my use case, I'll essentially see how many of those clicks turn into a lead and how many of them turn into a book call and how much each of those cost. If you have any comments about your specific setup or if anything was confusing in this video, feel free to drop that question in the comments below and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. And if you'd like someone to set up your ChatGPT tracking for you or just run your ads for you, then feel free to book a call using the link in the description below. That way me and you can have a chat. Other than that, I hope you found this video useful and I'll see you on the next one.